recording.
Hello. You know what day of the week it is, baby. It's Thursday. We out here talking this tech. Your eyes are not deceiving you. We do have the return of the OG, the original special guest, Shogun. I'm always here with my boy Chris like usual. I think we're doing this a little bit different because since John is returning and you guys kind of saw him on the first, I mean, damn, this would be episode 13 when this airs. And to think you were the first episode. So it's cool to have you return, to be back on here. And I do enjoy the kind of conversations we have where we go into people's backstories and how we all kind of came together. But this one's going to be a little bit different. This one, we're going to dive into that Street Fighter 6. We're going to talk about some hot topics, not the clothing, but we're going to be talking about some hot topics of Street Fighter. And I'm really excited. So this is just going to kind of be a freestyle session. Normally, I write down some questions or ideas that we have. And this one, I think we're just going to kind of go off the top. So say hello to my two other people that are with me.
What up? Hey, I'd say it's an honor, man. Double guest.
First one.
None of these other players doing what I'm doing right now. And CJ was talking crap. He thought I didn't watch that episode of CJ talking trash about that. We'll talk about that later. We'll get to it. But I'm happy to be here, of course, with my boys Duran and Chris. So it's always cool to just shooting hanging out with the broskies like the old days. So I appreciate it.
Bro, I'm mad sad I don't have popcorn with me because I can't wait for the CJ Shogun conversation. But we're going to save that for the end because we want people to have something to look forward to the end. So I think we're going to start off with East Coast Throwdown. East Coast Throwdown just happened. So I think there's a kind of couple things we can talk about with that that I find very interesting. We'll talk about Terry. I watched most of the weekend. I didn't I'll be honest, I mostly play jury, so if there's a jury on, I'm paying attention more so than, other kind of people. But that being said, man, there was mad upsets, y'all. So I think the first kind of point I want to talk about on East Coast Throwdown, unless you've been living under a rock and not paying attention on Twitter, the hot topic right now is definitely first to 3 versus first to 2. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm a little OG, and I'm just going to say cry harder. If you want to go first to 3, make it to top 8. You make it to top 8, you can get all the first 3s you want because all the top 8's first 3s. So you don't have to really worry about that. And I think it's interesting to me, too, because these kind of conversations only come up when we have a top player not make it out of pools or an early upset, and then it turns into, oh man, such and such lost and, this shouldn't be happening. This game is trash. Or, it's just like, man, it's just so shitty because in my opinion, you're just taking away from these, other players. These other players are working just as hard, as these sponsored players kind of thing. So I love it. As somebody that's sitting down to watch a tournament, bro, that's what I dream of. That's what I want us to be at ECT next year and being like, that's my dog. I already knew it. Y'all just didn't know it kind of thing. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. First to 2 versus first to 3, because I do feel like it is very hot right now.
As a somewhat, mostly retired TO, I'm also of the mind of you got to adapt to the circumstances. Also, it's because honestly, the people are like, it needs to be first to 3. It's been first to 2 forever. So to be like, of course, who doesn't love more games, etc. There have definitely been sets where maybe I would have lost if it was first to 2, but because it was first to 3, I made a comeback 100%. So if it's there, I'm cool with it. Of course, I want to play more games as a player. But as someone who has run tournaments and been around that stuff, it is kind of like, once you add in all the other people are just thinking more games better than less games, which is true. But they're not thinking, especially the major. Okay, you're entered how many games? Even if you're not, how many other people are entered in how many games? This takes however many, we got to make sure you're scheduled for this plus this. We got to have so many setups. We got to have so much time dedicated to this, especially because there's a whole broadcast situation. Everything's like there's more than just more games better than less games. So overall, and then let's be honest, everything is centered around first to two, like sets are first to two, ranked is first to two. Like it's been like that for a minute. So of course, more games better than less games as a player, but it is what it is overall. And I saw some stats where it's like 85% of the time doesn't matter, and like 15% could be a big change, but also that maybe that's more upsets and maybe people like that. But for me personally, it's like it is what it is. I guess that's ultimately it is what it is, and it's been what it's been this entire time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think people don't, for at least from a player standpoint, I think people don't appreciate like the level of competition in the competitive field of Street Fighter 6. Like, I think we probably have the biggest field in general of like strong players, just like overall. Like, we've seen some of the best players play. Like Goichi is like, he's like a solid Japanese player in this game, but he's not like godlike. We saw Sonic Fox try to play this game and he was okay. Like, it's like the field of this game is just like, in my opinion, it's just like the craziest. Like, it's the biggest. So like when these players lose these two out of three sets, it's like you gotta give credit to the players that won. I actually hate seeing like players going online and like complaining or bitching about pretty much it not being first to three, it being first to two. Like, it, in my opinion, like, yeah, more games are cool. Like, being able to play a first to three set, you have more time to learn just your opponent. But like, at the end of the day, like, you have to do what you need to do in order to win. And it doesn't matter if it's first to two, it doesn't matter if it's first to three, first to five, first to 10. Like, at the end of the day, the players are gonna figure out the way. Like there's a reason why certain players feel like there's some A tier list characters that aren't good in first to twos, and there are characters that are better in first to twos. So, I mean, if you're playing seriously and if you're like competitive and shit like that, then just pick that fucking character that's better at first to twos than the one that's better at first to threes.
Yeah.
Like, just figure it out. But it's I hate that the conversation starts just based off of people losing in tournaments and the upsets. Because I think it's more than that, but
that's what makes fighting games so unique. Like,
yeah,
like it's different than like you watch like League or you watch like FPS, type games. You're going in and these people are going in on a team, so you already kind of know who's gonna be there, and like you have to qualify and all this.
Yeah.
But that's what makes fighting games so unique. Is like, bro, Joe Schmo off the street can literally just go sign up and play. And if that dude comes and he bangs heads and he beats somebody, like, that's what makes it so great. And it's funny to me because the people that I see complaining on Twitter are the people that, it's not even the players for the most part.
yeah.
It's like
It's
some
usually
casual dude at home watching it and making a
Right.
tweet and being like, this is trash. And I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, it's
Like,
crazy to me.
The same thing. Like I'll definitely see. Like I've seen the players be like, of course. Again, they say more games better than less games. Like I'll see Big Bird say that and stuff like that. But after the loss, the people who are complaining about, oh, this should be first to three. I'm not seeing the players who lost it when saying that. I'm seeing niggas who were on the side talking about, oh, Problem X lost, it should be first to three. Yeah, and no, this is not towards Problem X. Because Problem X said, like, I didn't play well. That was it. Like, that's all he said. So there's not a problem. I hope it didn't come off as I'm shitting on him. He lost 2-0. People are like, oh, if it was like a close 2-1, I could see someone talking that, but he lost 2-0, bro. Okay, so are you saying that he need 2 games to learn and therefore he's gonna run it 3 straight? And that could be the thing, but same thing.
Yeah,
Should've
but that's kind of what's
adapted
cool about it in
faster.
general. Because like Problem X, like, bro, before he won that Evo, Problem X was always like, he was there, but he wasn't like Problem X that we know today.
Yeah, he was like a good player that we knew about, and he would always do well. Upset, like he would take out some big names. I don't want to call it an upset because he did it kind of regularly, but he would take out some big names and do well. But he was never like when he won that year. I definitely didn't think he was winning.
yeah. So it was a surprise. Yeah, big surprise.
So that's why like it makes it exciting. So I'm glad to hear him saying like I just didn't play well because I mean he understands because like he used to not be a well-known player, so he understands the time and respect that goes into playing the game and getting to that level and things of that nature. So like it's just cool to hear him say stuff like that. So to kind of switch gears, I wanted to I watched, I had it on in the background. I didn't see a lot of Terry's, so I would love to see kind of what you guys think of the character. I know Chris really deep dove into him for a bit, was kind of learning stuff. I picked him up. I messed around with him like for the first 2 days, and I don't know if I just had this different image in my mind of what he was going to play like, but he seemed more like heavy with like nature. To me, I thought he was going to be a lot quicker. But not that he's bad. It's just, I was anticipating one character. And then when I started sitting down to play with him, I was like, man, this is completely different than what I thought he was going to be. Yeah. So I'd love to kind of hear what you guys think of the character. Cause I don't want to deep dive into tier list kind of thing, just because I know how that conversation can kind of go. But I'm seeing a lot of people having him at like bottom tier and things like that. So I would love to kind of hear what you guys think.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now it's honestly, it's a little cliche to say, but I think it is still a little bit too early to really determine where Terry fits on the tier list. Like, he literally has everything that you would want a Street Fighter 6 character to have. Like, he's got low forward drive rush, he's got 2 4-frame jabs, standing crouching, he has a 23-frame backdash to blow up throws in corner, he's got uppercut, he's got a fireball that is a little bit unorthodox. It's kind of like a knowledge check, like when you're playing against him, because it is a little bit different with those fireball interactions. But a lot of people right now are just complaining about his neutrals a little weak, and they feel like his buttons aren't the best. Like, for instance, like standing heavy punch or like standing heavy kick when it comes to like trading. But that could also just be everybody's used to seeing a Shoto with that big standing heavy punch that has a lot of range. So I think it's a little early. I mean, we've seen this story so many times where the best players in the world literally say like a new character is bad, and then he ends up just blowing up in the tier list after Momochi starts playing him. Pretty much Momochi will start playing the new character and fucking then become godlike or something. But he does have a few flaws. Like, I do agree, like he does have outstanding flaws, but he just the blueprint for him is so solid that it's like he's going to be able, like he can, like a Terry specialist can win a tournament, I believe at this point. It's a little early to say, but I think somebody that's really nuanced and a specialist and really strong, I mean, I think can do it. So
yeah, I agree. I think he has too many tools to be bad. Like I probably need context, because I think everyone's talking about the Mago screenshot, but I think I might need some context to what he was talking about to fully understand that. But because I don't think it was a lot like when Akuma came out, like we didn't have to know the frame data or anything else when he first got announced. We saw what he had and it was like, well, he's gonna be good. There's no way he has too much not to be good. Same thing with Terry. Terry has everything you need. He has low forward drive rush. He has a hit confirmable target combo that you can do drive rush out of. He has burn knuckle that is so brain dead easy to space to B plus, and a visible confirmation. I'm like, screen shakes, I'm plus, screen doesn't shake, all right, I just block. Like, that's literally, like, I have that. You have that here. Fireball, which again is unorthodox, but we got the slow fireball that goes full screen. We got a faster fire girl that makes you think it looks like the other one, and then bait parries and get the throw on there. Then I have a plus fireball, which is going to blow up everyone's level 1, and you have to respect, so it's either parry or just take it. Like, his offense is really good. I mean, his standing heavy while it's stubby is -1 on block. Like, bro, like, you literally, I will watch Naru and he'll like, as soon as he gets 2 bars, he'll just walk up and heavy you, and it's like, if it hits, I'm level 2, you getting all this damage, and if it doesn't hit, I'm -1. So you can't do anything. Like, he has too many tools for me to ever believe he's bottom 1. Like I said, I think I need context for that screenshot from where that came from. I can see him being like upper tier. Like he's not going to be as good as like I don't think he could be as good as like a Cammy or like
I mean, do we consider him a Shoto? What do you guys think?
I mean I hear people saying that, and I don't personally think that way, but I can see where they're coming from with that. I mean, he's a Shoto of his game, I guess. Him and Andy.
Yeah.
So
would you say he's worse or better than Ryu right now? And I mean, Ryu's in like the middle. I think Ryu's like in the middle of the pack too. So he's like,
I think he's better. And I think his
tool set is definitely better than Ryu's.
I think he's better because Ryu's neutral stronger, but Ryu's kind of reliant on neutral. Like he can't like the best he got is he has an overhead that you can drive rush off of and things like that. But I feel like outside of that, he's kind of he's not weak because he's still a strong character, but like Ryu's a lot of it's reliant on you messing up. It's kind of the way I felt about DJ in season 1, where like that's who we were talking about this earlier, who I didn't have as top 5. I didn't have DJ top 5 in season 1 because I felt his game plan was a little unstable, and I think with Ryu, not quite like that because he has an overhead and he can force some mix. But Ryu's like he's relying upon neutral and then winning neutral, and then after that he can get some offense going. With Terry, I throw a fireball and burn knuckle. I'm a plus from full screen. So I think that's where I feel like Terry has an advantage. Is like Ryu has to play neutral to get in, or he's just throwing fireballs to play. Like he's reliant on neutral. Terry is like burn knuckle.
Skip it.
Yeah, I'm skipping neutral very very well. Which in this game, everyone's talking about drive rush stuff like that, but. And burn knuckle can be checked, but like if your fireball's already out, you gotta rely on that. So I probably put him slightly over Ryu, and I will say I've seen more strong Terrys than I've seen strong Ryus. I mean, Kusanagi withstanding, who won UFA, like is that the first? I think that's the first big tournament a Ryu player has won. And I've watched Punk win like 3 online tournaments with Terry already.
Yeah, I think Terry in the sense is like more because people say like Sagat's a Shoto. I think Terry is more Sagat Shoto than normal Shoto because Sagat kind of has the same type of thing where he can fireball and he can use Tiger Knee to like erase spacing and stuff like that. And if you space it right, it's kind of like not super negative kind of plus type of thing. So like Terry kind of reminds me of that, where like burn knuckle, where he can kind of eliminate space type of thing. That I just don't feel like Ryu has that. I mean, of course he has drive rush, but like he doesn't have a natural move that kind of puts him into that position. So I would say he's in that same kind of like section of Shoto as like Sagat would be, kind of like Shoto tendencies, but a little different than a normal Shoto kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's just a little early. That's really it. I think it's a little early. I've seen a few people that seem like they're like it's a little early, and while Terry is decent or good or whatever, he's not as good as the top tier. So it's going to be like a lot of other things. Unless you really enjoy Terry, unless you're a Terry fan or you just really like Terry, and you're playing the function, then yeah, you might as well go ahead and play one of the other Shotos. You might as well play Ken or Ryu, or and play or not Ken and Ryu, or Ken and Arakama, and play them if that's all you care about. So I think that's part of why we don't see him as much. So it's like early. We're gonna get people who are gonna get strong with them, learn, understand things more with them, start getting more situations where they're like, oh, I can do this. Especially with shout out to that replay takeover. You're gonna get people who are gonna be hitting the optimal routes and killing people off of doing Half-Life easy peasy off of shimmies, stuff like that. And then I think they'll think about him a little bit different because bro, he does 6.5, 6.9 actually off a DP punish. He's doing 60% easy, like not even optimal.
Yeah, he's got good damage
off of like random hits, and not even just punishes. Like random hit, and again, drive rush fierce on +3. you just happen to press something. Maybe you pressed a jab, you thought you had a meaty, and now you're dead, and like doing more damage than Geef can right now. So I think he'll end up pretty good, and I do think we'll see someone, because I do think we kind of give it like we see Punk win, so we're like, well, he's Punk. So I think
like Punk's not a good gauge at all. A lot of people like try to take Punk as a gauge. It's like, I recommend y'all that are watching don't do that, because Punk could fucking enter TNS and play Honda and beat everybody. You know what I mean? Like, so he's just a different.
Because we were talking about whether Cammy or not's good, and he was like, I don't know, man. She's good. I just don't see her to that level. And then somebody brought up Punk, and he was like, bro, like, you can't take the one exceptional player and put him into this equation and be like, well, this person's winning with him. Well, damn, he could win with anybody, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, but I've definitely seen some strong Terrys, and they're out there. It seems like they're starting to get here. Mexican Kusanagi actually won a tournament in Mexico with just Terry, and I think with that he won a trip. Yeah, I think he won a trip to Capcom Cup LCQ off of that tournament, and he won it with just Terry. I've been seeing Liquid O doing well in ranked. It looks like he seems to be strictly Terry these days. Riddles looks like he's playing strictly Terry these days. So there's some strong players who seem to have switched over and they're playing just Terry. So I think we just got to give them some time. But
there's a few matchups that I think when it comes to Terry, possibly at a high level, like he might be a strong counter pick for certain matchups. Like, I think he actually plays Guile really well because he just stops Sonic Boom Drive Rush, like, with his low fireball. Like, even though Guile has some ways he can hop over it, but, like, Terry just, like, Guile just can't throw Sonic Booms, like, all day. Like, you know what I mean? That fireball is, like, it just fucking, it doesn't allow him to Sonic Boom normally. So, I've been watching a lot of high level because my Guile's still whack right now, so I'm trying to get him better, but I watch a lot of high level, that guy you were saying, Chris Naru, or however you pronounce his name, versus like Higuchi and like all the strong Guiles, and he's causing a problem for Guile right now, I'll tell you that. So.
Like, bro, they gave him, because Naru is originally was the best Jimmy player in Japan. You give him a character with some tools, and that man was like, he was top Terry since here. The reason Maga was number one is because he was playing when Naru wasn't. As soon as Naru got back on, he took his spot back, and he looks like he's sticking with Terry every time. He's one of those people that when I get on for work and I look and see who's streaming for the background, Naru's always streaming. And he's always up there in like the 2200s or whatever, and he's doing well with Terry. So, and he practicing those confirms. Like I said, you get 2 bars, bro, and all of a sudden every hit could turn into 5K for just off level 2 and the Twin Geyser. And so like,
what's the Marvel Spencer up gravel? Is it 80K?
Oh yeah,
Marvel 80K instead of 5K. 5K,
bro.
5K.
Like all you see is this, and you can't do anything about it. It's 2 hits, easily confirmable, -1 on block. Like all I gotta do is like, shimmy, pop, you got hit, Twin Geyser, the easiest combo ever, 5K. And then what? If you ain't got a level 3 or you don't have a DP, Power Wave. Hey, you just gotta hold that, bro, because level 1 Power Wave, my combo's already loaded, bro. So I think he, like, the fact, like, once I realized how strong Power Wave was on meaty, and the fact, like, all you can do is parry it, and like,
you play Kimberly too.
Yep.
So you gotta hold it.
I can't do nothing. All I can do is hold it.
Fuck that.
And then
my DP characters be like, nah, I get that shit out of here.
But that's the thing.
But it's good,
yeah, because at least I have a reasonable bait, something like, now I could, you think it's going for the Power Wave, maybe I throw it the first knockdown, or like, but you gotta do something. In fact, that like, or even if again, I can force you to take something. Now you got 2 bars left. Are you gonna burn out on this? Or are you gonna take this Power Wave, which I'm +5 on block? Like, and on meaty, woo,
it's crazy.
So I want to stay on the tournament kind of conversation. So I want to go over. We had Just a Kid on here 2 episodes ago, and we kind of talked about Capcom Pro Tour. So I know ECT was a Capcom Pro Tour event. I am not throwing shade at ECT by any means, but like I feel like these tournaments nowadays are just so weird because it just doesn't feel like the hype. Like it was a good tournament, but like I'm used to, I feel like as a Capcom event, there's usually more participants. Like there wasn't a lot of Japan there, kind of thing, which surprised me. Like there was, but there wasn't. It was only a few. Like I mean, and of course they sent over killers with Daigo and
2. They only brought 2, and they both made top 8.
So
all that stuff
weird.
Daigo was saying is like true, but we could talk about that later.
So it's weird because it's like I sound like a boomer now because I'm like, oh, back in my day, but like I just remember like there used to be so many damn tournaments it felt like a tournament every other weekend kind of thing. And now I feel like there's a tournament once every 2 or 3 months kind of thing. And even those tournaments, like the turnout, like I just feel like East Coast Throwdown just didn't have the same amount of killers that I'm used to kind of seeing. Like it just didn't feel like a Pro Tour event. So I don't know if it's just something that like I'm missing or that's just how kind of things are. And I know we kind of spoke about like the format's kind of
Yeah.
I don't like how they're doing like this point system thing and or it's not even points, like you win and you're in, and it's just like I think the point system was so fire because it's like you got to follow along as a consumer, and like it was cool to see that, but it also like gave those people that opportunity, and I just don't want to see the same thing like last year happen where like Mena had to win like last second, tournament to get in kind of thing. So
yeah. I think they kind of overcorrected compared to the previous years, because the previous years the only way you were kind of getting in was if you were a pro player, because who else was able to travel like that? Yeah. So it was like, it definitely feels like they kind of overcorrected, because now there are people who with World Warrior, there are people who got a shot that maybe otherwise wouldn't. Like there are strong players that are strong, but like Chris CCH comes to mind, who is a strong player, can win bigger tournaments, can beat strong player, but he's not sponsored on that level. I think he's sponsored by Johnny Phrase for TW. So
for the dub.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's sponsored by but that's in. So I'm assuming like he's not sending. Johnny Phrase probably ain't sending Chris CCH to Europe to go to a premiere or whatever, something like that. So that's what I mean on that type of level. But hey, we're playing at home, so we all get that shot. So I get that, and I think there definitely needs to be a component, because I mean there are definitely times where you feel like, hey, if I was able to play as much as they can, or play get to the places they could, I might be able to show a little something. So I do like that aspect of it, but yeah, it does feel like the excitement for events is gone now, because they're, as we mentioned, we got 2 Japanese players, and that's because if you don't got the money, or if you don't got a shot at actually winning, are you gonna fly to Connecticut from Japan for a weekend? Nah.
A lot of those people are locals, yeah. A good amount of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. It's East Coast, so Connecticut to New York is literally like an hour or 2 hours. Like it's not like it's they're border states. That's like us driving to New Mexico. So if there's a premiere in New Mexico, you best believe we'd all be there, right? So, and then you got your Philly, you got Jersey, you got New York, you got Connecticut, who themselves have strong players. You have people who maybe come down from Canada. Shout out to Zycles, he's claiming highest placing Kimberly player because he only played Kimberly, and he got 13th, so he's claiming that. But and then you got your people some people from Florida who probably plan on that, and then you got the people who are like higher level players who came over because it's a premiere and they had a shot. But outside of that, if you're a player who's like a Brian F, who's a strong player, but he's not so far in Street Fighter 6 showing he's at that top level, are you going to come to Connecticut unless you just want to see how well you can do? If you don't think you have a shot at winning right now, do we get any West Coast players at all, really?
I can't even remember West Coast players.
Yeah, I can't think of any West Coast players off the top of my head that came. I know Noah was tweeting about how he couldn't come and things like that. Probably gonna have a lot of Midwest because it's somewhat close and everything like that. I honestly, I realized I would be able to make it, so I had already plans for October. But like later on, I was like, oh, of course I'll go because honestly, Walter is one of the organizers for it. So of course I would have gone and supported my boy and everything. But it definitely doesn't have that excitement like it used to back in the day. And point system's part of it, but it's like where do you find a balance so that it's not just the top players are going to qualify via the Super Premier, and then the players who are slightly below them, or maybe you can't afford, are going to win all the online tournaments, and it ends up being the exact same thing it was before. So it's like, how do you switch it up? But I do agree, switch up. Something needs to happen, and definitely helping in that 1 million, and then everyone else gets nothing kind of thing needs to change too.
Awful, dude.
Yeah. The offline tournaments not having like points incentives is just, it's really weird because like those are the players that like are really traveling and doing like dual Kevin, he got third at this one. Yeah. And he got second at whatever the last big one was.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's traveled to everything, and he's not in Capcom.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be those players like that that's like they should be in there, but they're just they're either not going to make it in for whatever reason, but and that's just because how it's structured. You're going to have like I think Capcom wants that. They want an Olympic style Capcom Cup. Like they want like a couple people from each country instead of the best 32 players or whatever it is. So to try to spread the love, and obviously for them it's promotion. It's promotion, like they're a business, so they feel like marketing the tournament as a worldwide tournament is going to make them more money probably in the long run, is what I'm guessing. But it's they got to figure something out. I don't even know if Capcom wants to change. It seems like Capcom is like, man, we're giving y'all money, like y'all need to stop complaining, like fuck like, because Capcom's never been the best at like really supporting the community like these other like Riot with like League, or like all these other like big games that help their community out a lot more. But this is the biggest Capcom's ever done for Street Fighter 6, and I think they're comfortable with just giving somebody $1 million check so they can write it off for tax write-offs and shit and do their thing, and that's all they really care about.
Like they announced it last year at the end of Capcom Cup, and it was like $1 million again, and it was just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, okay, cool, $1 million, but then second place was 100.
L.I. Joe on the ropes when Urian got it.
Yeah.
He was like freaking out. That's how the first year of Capcom Cup $1 million felt. And this year was just like, we're running it back. And it was just like, oh, like cool.
Yeah,
because it's like the drop off is so huge. And that's what makes me wonder where it's like, bro, don't just say like, yo, we're going to give $1 million. Like, that's cool. I don't disagree. But you got to figure out something, because I don't think people understand the sheer amount of work and effort that goes into like playing any video game at a high level, and to stay at that level, man. Like for people that don't watch like Apex, like I used to be really into Apex, and one of the best players in the world, his name is Imperial Hal. And he would talk about like, yo, why are you so godlike, or why like aren't these other people as good as you? And you're like, and he's like, dog, this is all I do. Like, I don't play any other FPSs or anything like that. All I do is play Apex. So when you were sitting there grinding to that level where it is Street Fighter, and bro, you're talking about like first is $1 million, and then the drop off to second is, what was it, 90,000 or something like that?
100 for this year. Yeah. Last year it was 300 for second. I believe. So this year is going to be 100 for second, and $1 million. That's
a high ass money match, dog.
Yeah, 900K money match, bro. Like,
$900,000. That, and it's just like, it's also shitty too when you're looking at other.
Put 900 racks on it, bro.
I'm curious. Like, let me look it up. I'm gonna see what East Coast Throwdown got paid.
Oh, I think it was 2,000 for first or something like that. It was like 2,000 for first, 1,000 for second, but that might have just been Capcom's like bonus.
That's probably like Like,
Isabashi won $5,100 for first place, dog.
I mean, that's like, but also, like, I know people be like, oh, part of it's like, okay, it's just, I don't want to say just, but it's a premier tournament. But that's a tournament for how many hundred people, and you play Street Fighter for a weekend? Like, you gonna be upset he made $5,000 in a weekend for playing some Street Fighter?
If I lived in Japan, yeah, I'd be mad as fuck.
I don't know if Itabashi's upset because he's from our culture.
Yeah.
Of broke ass players playing this game because we love it and not because But
like Idom, for example, that's fire. Because he made $2,700 and he lives in the East Coast. So he probably just drove over there and was like, fuck it, I'm going to go play in a tournament like I normally do. And then proceeds to leave with, because I'm sure it was in grand finals for Marvel 3 as well.
Yeah,
like,
he got, because I saw a picture.
He probably left with $3,000, kind of thing. So like, it's dope, but like, I don't know, but that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Like when we first had this question was like, this payout's kind of shit, dog. Like $1 million is cool. I'm not saying that, but if you're going to have these stops along the way, I feel like the payout needs to be higher. But I'm also curious to see what other companies do, because I've never paid attention to like the Tekken World Tour or like
I don't know the money. I don't know what the money is like on those sides. Yeah, I definitely don't know. I will say with Dragon Ball World Tour, it did do a lot of the, you can travel, but it did feel a bit more. I'm trying to, maybe I'm just misremembering, but the Dragon Ball World Tour did feel a bit more accessible. Same thing with ArcSys when they do their tours. It feels a bit more accessible than prior Capcom, because right now Capcom feels like it's more about the scarcity of the offline events than it is about here. So it's like, for me, like if you can't go, we had Evo and ECT. Is that the only American like super like qualifiers? I think that's it.
I think so.
Because CEO wasn't a qualifier, so I think it was just Evo and just Cream City.
Yeah. All the US,
Yeah, so that's it for the US, and it was in a short period of time. Because when Evo, Cream City was like the next month, and now we just had ECT, and that's it until the LCQ. That's actually wait, isn't it in Japan this year?
Yeah.
Capcom Cup. So that's it for Americans. So if you ain't make it, and you ain't winning World Warrior, and you ain't go to World Warrior finals, that's it. So they definitely, it feels like, I would 100% feels like next year they need to, okay, we did $1 million 2 years in a row. We're coming up on year 3 of Street Fighter 6. Let's go ahead and disseminate some of this money. Let's break it down. Let's put it more into some events. I personally feel like put it more into some events, because just these 8, 9, 10 tournaments throughout the world ain't doing what it's going. No one's good. The same few people that are sponsored that can afford to do this or get paid to do this are going to be the same ones you hear. So if that's what they want to see, cool. But if they want to switch it up again, like the way they're doing with the different regions and letting Oceania have their own region and stuff like that, and making sure that people can't come from other places to qualify at those, or how they did it previously.
Yeah.
Then they gotta kind of break this up. I feel like, because it's like now it's October and it feels like the season's over basically. If you're not someone who has a World Warrior shot, it's like, okay, cool. Now I'm just playing ranked, or this is the time of year that you might have 1 or 2 tournaments left, and now it feels like 2-3 months early. The season's like kind of over. You just kind of maintain it unless you got that drive to kind of get stronger, or you have a goal that you want to meet or something like that. But this is definitely like, okay, cool, ECT's over, and now it's like, if you ain't hitting World Warrior, I'll see you next year.
Yep, I agree. They got a lot of work to do. I will say this: I am happy as hell that I don't work for Capcom when it comes to that, because I do feel like regardless of whatever decision they come up with, someone's gonna be pissed. So. But I do think they need to fix something when it comes to that, because right now it is not the best. But I also say I really wish Capcom did more, because I follow other games as well. So like, I don't play Overwatch the way I used to, but I still follow Overwatch. And Overwatch always does like developer updates, and it's like, hey, we did this because of this, and they go and like they break that down and they show you like what the season passes and what you like kind of get and stuff like that. And like that, I mean, is another good conversation because like Street Fighter 6 as a whole, we don't get dev updates. We do maybe at like the end of the year when like Capcom Cup just finished, here's next season characters kind of thing. But like even while you're playing the game, like yes, I know mods exist and they're fun and stuff like that. But like, dog, for the love of God, please stop giving us Avatar shit. No one cares about Avatar shit.
What,
like,
bro? You ain't paying 15,
in the
15
battle
bucks?
Yeah, dog.
You ain't paying 15 for the titles, bro?
Dog, that's making them money, dog. Capcom's like, hell no. We
But
love
you know what
Avatar.
also makes the money is skins, and that's why I don't understand.
Skins.
Like,
Bro, I'm not gonna
it is
front. I
crazy.
can't believe
it is so slow.
we ain't getting. They already said apparently we're not getting outfit 4 until like 20. Till like I think they say end of 2025.
2026, they said the beginning of 2026 is what they were saying.
I can't believe
I don't
that,
know.
bro.
That's one where like I don't know if like they got like just bad criticism from SF5 and SF like back in the Ono days where like they just got like the Japanese culture got this bad reception on like making a ton of costumes because they like you said, dude, they're like they don't want to make like they only want to make costumes because people are asking, but they're taking their sweet time. Like I also don't get it, man.
For
and like
real.
we get it, there's waifu tax. I am not gonna say there isn't waifu tax. So I know Chun-Li had a shit ton of outfits in Street Fighter 5, and I was more than okay with it because that's who I mained. So I was like, bring them on, kind of thing.
Same.
But
I had every Karen outfit.
yeah, it's just like, bro, how on earth are we only on 3? And I don't know if that's true because I know that was just like a Twitter thing that was going around where like we may not see one until 2026 or whatever. But I'm like, bro, if y'all want to make money, and like I remember talking to a friend, he was like, wait, y'all for real, like skins are that big of a deal? And I'm like, dog, imagine you sitting there and you're like 1,500 hours into this game. Bro, probably 1,000 or 1,300 hours of that 1,500 hours is you playing the same character over and over and over again. So when a new skin drops, it's like, yo, it's kind of exciting because it's something different.
Yeah,
You're
especially
like,
if it's dope.
yo, man,
If it's
I need
whack,
to find my
like-
new color and shit like that. Like it's hype. Like so, it's just like
100%, bro. Like I mean, I even now when I play Kimberly, I literally pick a different color, different costume. Like every time I load up, I'll just pick a different color. Like I'm like, which costume I feel like today? Which color do I feel like today? Which mod do I feel like looking at today?
Yeah.
It's all of that.
That's why I have so many because it's just like, bro. Don't get me wrong. Most of the time, mine are just color mods. But it's just like, man, I that's gonna sell. Like, and I'm curious. I would love to see what the data is on like Avatar stuff for Battle Hub, how well it actually sells, kind of thing. Because I do see motherfuckers running around with like,
I do see the turtles occasionally.
yeah, the turtles or some dude that's like a giant inflatable duck or something. And I'm like, all right, dog, like, you live your life, man.
Hey, I didn't buy it. I didn't pay for it, or whatever. But I was doing the sushi thing. I had a giant sushi roll on my back for a minute. Like, so I don't know if they feel like the ROI is worth it, but they keep doing it. They keep doing all these, and I don't live in Japan, so I don't know how the sushi roll collab went. I don't know how the Only
I'm
Super
surprised
Tiger
we don't have
collab
an
went.
egg roll outfit. Because every tournament I feel like we go out and it's put the egg rolls in or whatever that fucking ad is.
What is that called? Yeah, the pagodas.
Pagoda. There you go.
The egg rolls in, baby.
I'm not gonna
So I think
front.
this is a good kind of segue or conversation because we're already kind of talking about it. So we're a year and some change, a year and 4 months, year and 5 months into Street Fighter 6 being out. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about the game now. Like, has the polish kind of worn off? Is it not as shiny as it once was? What do you guys feel about the game now compared to, when we had this conversation 7 months ago, 8 months ago?
I'm personally enjoying it still. Playing. I wish I could play a bit more. But work is now busy, so I don't get to slack off like I used to. Like I knew as soon as I was like, yeah, I know I'm about to hit this break here. I'm about to load up or something like that. Can't do that anymore. Can't be like lunch. Like lunchtime. I get a little bit of play, but that's about it. But I'm personally still enjoying it. I don't have a lot of the issues that people have with the game. They've been complaining, saying that they feel the game's random. that is not consistent. But then we look at the same people doing well a lot. So I personally don't agree with that. I think they just don't want to have to guess sometimes, which, that's kind of how it is here. So I've seen people be like, literally, it's like, it's not the game that's random, blah, blah, blah. It's decision. You got to nerf Drive Rush and nerf Oki. And I was like, you just want to play Street Fighter 5. That's it. You just want to play that's all you want. You want neutral. I get a knockdown, reset the neutral, and I'm like, that's not the game we're playing. And honestly, every single Street Fighter has been massively different. Street Fighter 3 don't play like Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 don't play like Street Fighter 5. And 5 plays there are fundamentals that cross over, but each iteration of Street Fighter is its own separate thing. It's not like KOF where Legacy. It's not Tekken where Legacy is just you gotta bring it over. So I think people are a little, bitching a little bit too much in my opinion, for how random they say the game is. I'm seeing the same people in top 8 quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I agree with some points. I disagree with a couple, but I'll start with this is my favorite Street Fighter. This is my favorite Street Fighter I've played since I played Street Fighter. I think it's way better than 4. I only played 5 for a year, so I thought that game was trash. So 6 is honestly it's amazing. I loved it. It made. For people that don't know, I completely stopped playing fighting games, and I came back to play Street Fighter 6. I played a little bit of Dragon Ball when it came out, but I stopped playing. But I came back for 6, and I've been literally playing it nonstop, consistently, and probably more than I ever did in 4. So I mean, I feel like the game is still refreshing. I still feel like it's fun to play. I do feel like it's a little volatile. I mean, I do think that this game caters very highly on offense, and with it being such a highly offensive game with a lot of options, I think it gives you a lot of people don't understand how to play the game too well, but they're still finding ways to be successful, which is fine. I think that's good, but it's definitely a good point is Daigo was saying he played a 1-to-5 set against a player and he lost 0-5, and then the next day he played the same set and he changed no strats, he didn't do any, he literally got off, he played the same strat and then won 5 straight. So it's there's just the game is just asking for a little bit of inconsistency, because I feel even though Minna's winning right now, I still felt like Minna was the strongest player, the strongest player, hands down. And he's winning, and everybody's he's being consistent. I honestly feel like he would be a lot more consistent if there weren't some volatile things in this game. That's just how good I think he is. At that level, but even with Punk's someone who won Evo one day and then he goes to Esports World Cup and doesn't win a game. There's just these there's these intangibles there, but I mean that also plays to a lot of things people are arguing about is is the game, is it volatile? Is it more volatile, or is our skill, is the skill level of competition just that high? And I think you find something in the middle there, because like I said, I think we have the highest field of strong players, average compared to any other fighting game. And then I do feel there's some randomness. So that combines into two, but yeah, I mean, I love it. There's even little things that Capcom's doing that's so awesome that I never saw in Street Fighter 4 days. You just turn your game on one day and they're hey, we thought it'd be a good idea for you guys to just enter training mode from the menu screen instead of having to go, just little nice features like that I just think it's just a really nice touch. So this new team is doing way better than Ono ever did, in my opinion, with Street Fighters. So.
I feel like that's how they got Ono out of there without him complaining. They just gave Blanca everything, and then it's like, look at what we did for Blanca. Get out here, don't say nothing. Because I was like, oh my god, Blanca's annoying as hell. Why this nigga got a command grab? But yeah, like that stuff. Yo, game loaded, jab. Immediately in the training mode. That's what I do every time. Like, even if I'm in the menu, I'll go back to the main menu and hit jab because it's still quicker than going into the practice mode, picking the stage, picking your character, picking the other character. I literally like go back, jab. I'm in training mode. So now now I need go in the replay directly from a match. I need that now. I need that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, one of my big
I need messages on CFN too, because I'd be so sad when I'm like, me and John have missed playing each other like 3 times in the last like 2 days, because I'll be like I see him there, but I'm not trying to just sit in custom room and invite him and hope that he's paying attention to his screen. I'm like, so I text him, but he's the same way as me. My phone is face down most of the time, and then I gotta be like, oh, John texted me 30 minutes ago talking about can I play, and I'm literally like, oh damn, I was on lunch break. I was actually looking for matches, but now I got signed back in. That literally happened today, where he like hit me. I was like, I literally signed back into lunch 20 minutes ago, and now if I had known he was on, or I sent him a message in game versus having to be like, hope he saw this invite and I'm gonna sit here.
That's what I was gonna bring up too. Like, as like non playing wise, the reason that training mode skip is so amazing is because the UX in this game is dog shit. Like, I love Street Fighter 6. This will probably go down as my favorite Street Fighters ever. Like, it'll probably surpass Third Strike. It probably already has, just because I've playing this on a competitive level compared to Third Strike. But like, as a designer, that literally this is all I do in my everyday life, is not just design, but I also focus on the UX side of things. The UX of this game is awful.
Oh yeah.
Like the fact that you can't send direct messages is crazy. The fact like, oh, you get a custom room invite and you got to back out and then like go into like, oh, custom rooms, and then go like view invitations, and like, dog, what fucking year is this? Like, how are we going
why'd it get worse? Why'd it get worse?
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, how did we go backwards as like humans? I just don't understand it. Like, and this is actually like a trend that tends to happen in other video games as well. Like, I remember Destiny 2 came out, and like, they had shit in Destiny 1 that they took out for Destiny 2. I'm like, why would you remove it? Just leave it in there. Like, I don't understand it, and that's kind of what Street Fighter's interfaces to me. The game itself I really enjoy, but man, that menu navigation is ass, like with a capital ASS. Like, it's just, it is bad.
Yeah, it's definitely not intuitive at all. Like,
but they're making little improvements.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys noticed, like, when you go and you boot up the game, it now says like friends, but it also shows you your club members that are online,
I saw that,
which is dope. So that's really cool, and you can kind of see like, oh, you know, my homie's on. Oh shit, this people from the club's on. Let me go play with them, kind of thing. And they're making little improvements, and so it's cool to see that. Like, the replay takeover is awesome. We were actually helping. We had community night 2 Thursdays ago, and one of the guys came in and was like, I played this dude and I don't know what to do. And it was just like, it's funny because you go back and you rewatch it and you're like, bro, come on, dog. Like, what were you doing this night? You just weren't paying attention or what? But then you could take over and you can kind of like test things. And so like, it was me, Kano, and a couple other guys, and Kano was like, yo, what's the replay number? I'll go find it. And Kano, like, it was another jury player, and Kano's like, I don't even play jury, but I can take it into training mode and I can go to that part and keep replaying it, and I can help you figure out what you can kind of do, kind of thing. Because the guy's like, it was a jury versus a Ken, and he's like, I can't do anything against step kick. And he's like, well, you can crouch medium kick it. And he's like, yeah, but I can't, because, you know, if he shimmies me. And I'm like, but this only works if he's max range or step kicking you, kind of thing. And like, so we took it into training mode and we tested, and it's like, yo, he's -4, so you know you're pretty much almost guaranteed to get a crouch medium kick. And even like, yeah, it's not your turn anymore, kind of thing, but at least you're not sitting in the corner just eating this shit over and over and over again off of a step kick, kind of thing. So it's like cool to like, bro, there's 3 or 4 of us in there and we're watching this dude, like, his replay, and then we're pausing it and going like, oh, let me see that. So it's just dope to see kind of stuff like that. So like, bro, little quality of life stuff like that is fantastic.
That's why I want an option after the match. I want go into replay or rewatch replay or immediately there, so I don't have to quit ranked, pause, go to the menu, back out of the fighting ground menu, go back to the main thing, pause, go to CFN, go to replays, unselect everyone else's replays, select just my replays. Okay, find my replay, add to the list, Now go to where I'm like, yo, I just want to go directly into this match or something like that from there. So I would definitely
even just replays as a whole.
that.
Like I remember I ran sets against you guys, and I was using those as like training examples, and I've never like, oh, I want to go watch my own replays. I had to go find my replays. So you go to like my replays, dog, and it's not even your replays.
Yeah, it's everyone, like, your friends, you follow, and your club members.
So dumb.
I don't want to see none of them niggas replays, bro.
I'm like, I want to watch
I'll be seeing people I don't even know that play still. I'm like, oh shit, this person was on.
Like club members, bro. I'm in the Aki club and the Marauders club. I don't know half these niggas in the Aki club.
Yep.
And I'm looking at their replays popping up, and I gotta unselect all of them just because I want to see mine.
Yep.
Yeah,
bro, I had to keep scrolling to try to find the damn replays I'm looking for.
Yeah.
My replays were at the bottom of my replays.
Yeah, you gotta hit L3, hit L3, and unselect everyone else's, and just select self.
I think talk about the bad, like going into the bad stuff, like the replays. They have this weird thing where every time the game has a major update, you lose all your replays that you even have saved.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely pisses me off.
Bro, that angered me so much because I ran the sets against you guys, and like I don't know a lot about DJ or Kimberly because I don't play against them very often.
Yeah.
So I saved all of our matches, and they were like, "Yo, this replay takeover's coming." I'm like, "Dope! I'm about to save these. I'm about to go back through and nope." Don't work.
Yeah,
nope. Every patch. So like, because you know it's coming. Like I don't know if it's every reset, but it's definitely. I think it is because I think they usually coincide the phase resets with a patch or something. So
yeah.
November 1st should be the next reset. So watch the replays. You got some Terry replays you want and stuff. You got stuck in the corner and you want to test some things. You better do it now, bro. Because
but I do think
it might be there, but don't rely on it.
Yeah.
But I want to see more like their quality of life is great. So like I do think what they have been doing is fantastic. But it kind of angers me, I won't lie, because like that last patch note was kind of trash, dog. Like oh man,
Terry one?
Yeah, the Terry one. It was awful. Like I'm happy they did it and they didn't make us wait an entire year again. But it's like that's what the point of these seasons are. So if you're gonna drop a character, like this is when we should be getting balance patches. And then I go through and I read the balance patches, and then some characters got like a paragraph of shit, and then some characters got nothing. And I'm just like, so what you're telling me is when you're not adjusting these other characters is you think they're perfect how they are. If you're not making any type of tweak of any, and I get it. Maybe they don't want to do it. Like maybe it wasn't soon enough. Maybe they want to go 6 months, which would roughly be 6 months. Cause I think Bison came out January? February?
Bison was Bison came out because
right before CEO.
I'm sorry, Akuma. I'm thinking of Akuma. So Akuma came out, and that was like kind of the
right
end of season
Capcom
1, right?
Cup. So that was like March, April-ish.
Okay, so March. So we got April, May, June, July, August, September,
something
October.
like that.
So
because he was at CEO's June, and Punk ultimately won with Akuma, and that's when he was somewhat new. So it had to be like April, May, and then we got that in. Terry second. We got Bison. Bison was like what July, early July, because it was right before Evo. And now we got Terry.
So when was the big patch update? Was it Bison or Akuma?
The big patch was.
I think it was Akuma.
Yeah, the big big patch was Akuma. Yeah.
Okay, so that's been roughly 7 months, 6 to 7 months is when we had the.
Then
last
we got a minor tweak.
So that's what I thought. Terry was
we did get a minor tweak with Bison because that's when Akuma's air fireball got slightly nerfed.
Yeah,
and a couple other things I can't remember.
Like it doesn't have to be a big adjustments every time a character drops, but I figured they were going to do big adjustments every 6 months. Because that would have been 6 months.
I didn't think we'd get big adjustments every time, but I thought we'd get a little bit more tweaks than we got. I did think that. I thought we would get more tweaks per character than we've been getting. Because I agree. I mean, of course, I came out ahead. We got them can combos, baby. What you know about we doing 7.5K? What you know about that?
I really am curious though, like their process of how they get this data or they figure out what they want to patch, because I think they kind of backtracked a little bit with JP and Luke.
Bro,
like it wasn't like it wasn't like they like gave them other stuff. It was kind of like they were like, oh shit, let's give them this stuff back.
Yeah, they gave
so it's
like JP doing combos again now, and I'm seeing JP's again now, which is funny. I think the stuff they gave him is fine. Like, I think he probably should have 2H, should probably be a decent anti-air with anti-air frames because it's the range. I don't necessarily think I care about forward roundhouse. I mean, I don't know the difference between, how big a damage change that is, but it seems like they tried overall to kind of level up some damage. That's what they did with like, if I look at it, yeah, that makes sense. That's what they did with Kimberly. Now I'm doing more damage with can buffs. JP got forward roundhouse back, so he's getting those juggles and stuff again. Geef.
How do we feel on the DJ buffs? Because I watched a video, because I don't play DJ, but I did watch a video about like his adjustments, and I thought they were cool, but like that was me watching from like, I don't play this character. This is kind of dope. So I'm curious what you thought, like his medium, what is it, medium, that down kick?
Yeah, so his two big things was, sway into overhead. It has punish counter juggle state. So you can combo it into EX upper into combo only in corner. If you're in mid screen, the only thing you can really get off of it is like a Sobot or a double Sobot, which is really risky. Like, you can do it, but it's like, I wouldn't recommend it because it's like one frame and you get punished. So like, it's cool. Does it really change much? I don't think so. He also got his target combo. His Capcom specifically said, we never see DJ from our data. We've never seen DJ do his light punch medium target combo. So we decided to give it closer range on hit. So he has like an Oki after it. The only problem is like some players are trying to use, like, I'm actually trying to implement it in my game plan, but it's kind of just like the stuff that I've already been doing is probably a bit more optimal right now, and it has like weird ranges. So for me, I feel like it's pity buffs. It's nice to have, but it doesn't really change much. And that's like from the Japanese mindset. Like, I'm curious if they're like, this is really helping the character, or let's act like we're giving characters buffs that aren't really buffs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really curious.
But it's weird because like I feel like the target combo, like overall buff for everybody, was like a big thing. Like that. Because like, because that was like one of the things that like Jury got as well. Cammy got it as well. But even like the target buff combo, like buffs, was weird to me because like, Jury got a buff, but like, she can super out of it now. But like, Cammy, she could do her whole target combo and drive rush out of it and all this other shit. And I'm like, so I'm so confused, like why you gave some characters, like, you emphasize target combos pretty much for every character. Like, hey, we don't see them using this target combo enough, kind of thing. Well, but this character, we made it so you could drive rush out of it. But then this character, you can only do supers, or like, so that's why I saw the DJ note and them being like, we didn't see you using target combo. And I'm like, well, you should have done this shit 6 months ago because you gave it to everybody. But for whatever reason, you nerfed DJ. I don't know why. Because all these other characters that have been top tier really didn't get much adjustments. But DJ, they just came through and was like, we ain't about that Jamaica life, apparently, because they canned the shit out of it. So
I don't know, man.
I'm eating good, bro, so I can't. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, it was a minor adjustment with the can, but it does help to have, like, I have one less interaction now. Combos where can's a bit more threatening now, where I'm like, oh, you just taking the throw? Not anymore. Take a throw if you want to, and now I can actually get a kill here. I'm no longer getting a combo into now it's guess for game, but it'd be in that situation where I have low drive beater. I got parried in the back throw. Now I'm about to die. So it does definitely help a lot. And then now, like, I'm looking for these. I've hit it a few times. Don't mess up a level 3. And John, don't whiff a DP, bro. I'm blocking that DP. Can's coming down. I'm getting 6K.
So he just forgets, John, because he doesn't remember what it's like to have a DP.
I've never had.
That's right, dog.
I've never had
having a DP.
I guess Viper a little bit.
That's feeling.
I was like, dog, don't act like you don't play Yun. He had a DP.
Yun's DP is not a DP. Like Yun's DP is literally only a desperation TP because why would I give up Ganasian?
Wait, we don't even have to go back that far. We can just go back to Street Fighter V because Karen for sure had a DP and her DP was really good.
Oh, I did have a DP. Yeah. I did have a DP.
I don't know how y'all do it, man. Duran plays jury, so
yeah.
I mean now that I'm actually trying to play like
you've seen the light.
Beat the best people. I'm hella Sanford Kelly dog now. Like back in the day, I played fucking low tier. I was trying to be cool and shit. My brother was king low tier. I was like, I could play low tier characters too. Nowadays, dog, I'm like, fuck that. I'm picking a top. If my character doesn't have a DP and a 4-frame jab, he can get out of here, bro.
Yeah. Honestly. When I played Terry, I honestly most of the time I kind of forgot I had a DP. Like I did not wake up DP very often, and like
in this game,
I'm used to it.
To be fair, in this game, doing wake up DP, EXDP is a big decision because you lose so much drive gauge and you get so much damage and so many the corner carry. It's a big decision to make. Like even the Big Bird talked about this in one of his breakdowns. He's like doing a DP is honestly like. It's an executive decision. Like you got to make sure you're doing this
CEO
wake up DP. Yeah, because at a high level, like dog, you lose so much for whiffing, or doing a wake up EXDP. You know, so which is fair, and I like that. I like that about the game,
especially with all the season 2 changes, which has a lot of people getting different super combos and things like that. Like even if I don't have I'm doing 5K probably. I'm doing 4 to 5K minimum, and that's without if I got a level 1, or even if I don't have, I'm gonna do probably 35 to 4K, and I'm putting you in the corner, and I'm getting the setup. If I got super meter, I can kill majority of you do P. I can do 50% off a level 2 if I got 4 dry bar. I don't even need optimal stuff. I'm doing 5K now. So yeah, DP is definitely one of those things where honestly you're almost better off doing drive reversal at this point for the same 2 bars.
An hour in. So the last question I have for the day is because we kind of spoke about this before we went on. So I want to hear if you guys think ranked is as important as some people believe it is. Okay. I will go first.
All right.
I believe that I do think it is important. Mm-hmm. I don't think it is important as people make it out to be. We have a couple people in the community that are always like, how do I get better at ranked? What am I doing wrong with ranked? Ranked. And then I'm only plat 4 or whatever. I've only played my placement matches, and I know I'm not sitting here saying I'm the best player or anything like that. But I play people in community night that are master ranked players, and I go back and forth, sometimes beat them, handle my own type of thing along those lines. So I think it is funny hearing people being so like, oh my God, rank is so important kind of thing. And especially when you see Mena, for example, or Knuckle-Doo. I know he's master ranked, but bro, dude don't play ranked like that. He just doesn't kind of thing. So I think I could see it either way, honestly. I understand the importance of it because oftentimes some people don't have that availability. If you don't have a large community and you can't play with several other people all the time, playing ranked is a great way to kind of get those kind of sweaty matches in kind of thing. But I think you can also go the other route where if you do have that really good support system or structure where you're constantly going to locals or, have a good group of training partners and things like that, ranked is kind of sure. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's a great question because it has pros, and to me it has pros and it has a lot of cons. I feel like we'll look at my situation for people that don't know. So I'm pretty much a primary DJ player that's currently anywhere from 1700 to 1900 MR. My goal right now is really trying to get to that 2000 to legend. And I would say that with my community, I don't have I play sets with people, but I can't find just that rapid first to 2 playing multiple matchups at a very fast rate that simulates a tournament. Like, it's funny because ranked is probably one of the closest things that simulate like you going to a tournament, because it's just you're playing random characters and it's first to two. That being said, there's so many stupid untangibles and ways that Capcom set ranked up to where it is dog shit, and it is probably one of the worst things you can do in this game. Like, it's like people will one and done you. People will not play. Typically, a lot of people won't play like at a tournament level. Like, they just play like hella like volatile random. Is just like bad play. Like, you learn bad habits. It's like if you're playing the CPU all day and then you try to play a real person. People have hacks, people cheat, people do all types of crap, and at the same time it's like it's just imaginary points at the end of the day. So I think people really look at those points. I'm also, I'm no saint. I have depressful nights when I fucking lose 150 MR, and I'm like, I don't want to play this game anymore, and I'm wasting my time. I've had those nights, trust me. But like, it's not everything. Like, playing sets with people, like, you have to be able to do a little bit of everything. I think. You have to be able to play those sets, those long sets. You have to be able to play a little bit of ranked. But yeah, you shouldn't, like, the MR, like, I would say don't really look at it. It's not that big of a deal personally, but it is it's a good gauge for certain things situationally. Like, for instance, like NuckleDu, like Duran said, like, NuckleDu's a player who has played Guile since he's been out the womb. So he's not going to learn anything playing Guile in ranked anymore. Like, but if he picks up a new character, NuckleDu will play ranked. Like, when he was learning DJ, he'll play ranked just so he can get that, cycle of different matchups. So it just depends for different players, but it's good and it's bad. I currently hate it right now, though.
I'm glad I'm going to last, because I wanted to go last. I was gonna be like, let me go last. All right, so I've kind of come around on it recently. So before now, if you're at a lower level and you're not like, and you're kind of going back and forth for, like, I would say platinum or something like that, then even actually I would probably say if you're going back and forth in diamond, even then I'd say you should probably necessarily not focus on ranked. Go play hub, learn matchups. I would probably actually recommend more casual than hub, because the level in hub overall is like kind of down there. And casuals, you can get matched up with people more your level, and people who are actively trying to get a bit better. Are learning maybe they're learning a new character, but they're probably maybe stronger-ish player. They're a decent player, and they're jumping in because they're maybe learning a new character, or they hit a plateau in ranked and they're trying to play it out, something like that. That said, if we'll point to Mina and Do and everything as an example, but they have the connections to play top tier other guys. They can say, I'm gonna hit you up for a set. They can hit anybody up for a set, and they're gonna say yes. They'll jump into if Mina said, hey, I need Kimberly practice. He happened to jump on my screen. I'm running. I could be up. I could be about to hit legend, and I'm about to play a JP, and I know I'm about to smoke this match. And Mina's like, yo, I want to get some. I need Kimberly practice. You mind hit me? I'm like, oh, I see. I guess we'll see if we can get it next time. Stuff like that. So the difference is there. I would say ranked is the easiest, most consistent way to get the highest level practice you can if you don't know these people. Because I literally looked at my win rate in casual versus my win rate in ranked, and there was literally a 10% difference. I've got a 61% win rate in casual versus like a 51% win rate in ranked, and it's like it's night and day, right? And I'm playing people who are around the same MR as me. It's actually lately it's been lower MR. It's been like the 1600 MR has been what I've been playing more recently, but when I was playing a bunch of just casual and I was doing first to fives and first to tens and everything, I was getting people who were 1800 MR, and there was a lot of people like myself. I hit that 18. I'm like, I don't want to, let me hold on to my points for a little bit. Let me go play some casuals, and then we'll jump back in the rank in a few days. And I was like, hey, I'm getting some quality sets here. But then I jump back in the ranked. I'm like, I need to get used to that first to two because I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to just get internet points. I want to do well in tournament. So I need to get good at winning in first to two. I need to get different at playing different play styles. I need to be able to tame these animals out here and let in 2 games and not a first to 5 where I'm like, yeah, he was up 3-0 and then I came back 5 straight. I can't lose 3-0 to these type of people. I need to be winning 2-0. I need to be like not even 2-1 because goddamn niggas take on my went 2-1, but I'm down 10 MR because of it. But yeah, like it does put some stakes on it. So I think ranked is not like the most important. Like your focus shouldn't be how do I get better in ranked, especially if you're at a lower level or something like that. Like if you haven't hit diamond and you're like how do I get better at ranked, you probably need to be better with your character first before you even worry about that.
Yeah.
But once you get to that, if your goal is to try to get better and your goal is to try to be strong, ranked currently, unless you like have a connection, you're in like one of those discords, or you just have a good scene where you know these people, is currently the best way to get high level play, consistent high level play, where you're doing here. Like I said, I've been at a consistent like a little over 50% win rate in ranked, so I'm going back and forth with a lot of people. Yeah. Whereas locally, there's probably, not to disrespect any, but there's probably like a handful of people that I'm going to go back and forth with right now. I'm going to go back and forth with John. I'm going to go back and forth with like Kahuna. I'm going to go back and forth with maybe Revenant or Raven. Like these are players who I'll like go back and forth with. But otherwise, like I'm probably winning majority against a lot of players. Like there's like 5, 6, maybe. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. It's like the level of play from what I've been playing these people is not the same versus ranked. It could be anybody. So like there's probably now I'm thinking in my head there's actually probably like maybe like a couple handfuls, more like 10 people, because I'm thinking about CG Roop, Rick Roop is a good adapter at a long set. So there's going to be those players like that, but the overall skill level, if I just hit up on lunchtime and say who wants to play, and it's not one of those guys who are getting top 8, I'm probably going to smoke them. And in order to get those matches where I'm not going to smoke somebody, even in casuals, because I literally had a 15 win streak because I was like, I don't want to jump on ranked and get upset and jump and log back into work. So and it takes a little bit of time to warm up. So I'm like, I only have an hour lunch. By the time I warmed up, I got like 30 minutes. So I'm not gonna get like. Yeah. I had a 15 win streak on casuals and I'm playing like 1700 MR players, but it's just because they hit that, plateaued, and said, hey, like I did, let me jump into casuals, and it just happened to run into a Kimberly player who knows how to play the matchup. So I would say overall, I've been talking a minute, we're going here, just in general, I'd say ranked, while it's not the end-all be-all, it is going to be like the highest level play you can get currently if you are not friends with Mena or friends with, you're going to that, you're not part of that scene to where you can link up and get these matches.
I do want to add one quick thing too, because I know, at least for a high level perspective, because I know Chris is a character loyalist, but I'm kind of transitioning into that player that like starts counter picking my matches, and you cannot do that in ranked. So like if I play against a Luke my first round with DJ, and like I lose in a tournament, I'll go to Guile because I'm playing Guile for Luke, Chun-Li, certain matchups, but I can't do that in ranked. So it doesn't prepare me. Like, there's some top players that have that archetype, like that play multiple characters, like a Xiaohai, like a Mena and stuff like that. Like they don't get that kind of tournament practice because they would just switch their characters, in a real tournament. So you can't do that in ranked. So that's also another reason why ranked, in my opinion, isn't that strong.
Yeah. So I'll have 2 things just based off the conversation we had. And this is also stuff that I've seen from watching people play. I have definitely seen several American players just be like, just wait till you go to Japan. If your points matter that much, because getting legend over there is super easy from my understanding when you're that good at the game, because there are a lot more So it's a smaller pool. There's a lot better players there, but to get those points, it's a lot easier kind of thing.
Yeah, so they got the inflation. Everyone's legend. Bro, I'll watch these streams and they will run into 1900 2K legend, 1900 legend.
And you watch American and it's like some 1600 dude and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But I will say, it's a lot like, bro, when you run into a 1600 and they're decent and you got to fight for your life because if you lose you're about to be down 11 MR, and if I win I'm getting +4, and I'm like comebacks. I've had to get some 1600s because I'm like, I'm not coming down.
Or you win the set but you still feel like you lost because you lost the majority of the points.
Because I am definitely a 2-1 enjoyer. I be winning a lot of sets. When I win, I don't get a lot of streaks. I get a lot of 2-1s, and I'll be like, oh man, I played for an hour and I'm +4 MR because I got some 2-1s in there. But at the same time, I play the set every time because that's part of it too. It's like I always think to myself, in order to get to the higher level players in bracket, I gotta be able to beat these guys handily. I gotta be able to tame these monsters that do drive, rush, jab, and round start. I gotta be able to beat these guys because that's who's gonna play. That's who we're gonna play in early bracket. I'm not gonna say no names, but there's a Kin player. And John probably knows what I'm talking about. He's a Mexican Fin player, and every time he would do round start jab, DR jab, and then then I was like, I literally in my head I was like, oh, I see that name, I know round start. I'm just gonna hold back, and then as soon as I see that DR sweep, and that was it. And like once I knew his habits, I was like, I never lost a set to him again. And I
said that about Ken, and I was like, so most of them?
Nah, this one was literally like other Kins kind of have the they would wait and see. He was round start every time, DR jab, and then once that didn't work, he would do the next round he would do EX fireball. So I literally was like, okay, round 1 DR jab, okay, back up, sweep, and then round 2 when I get him, I would literally just jump in. And it worked every time. So those are the people you gotta learn how to beat early on in bracket.
The second thing I learned is Chris basically said, if you're not top 8 in Colorado, you're Team Spooky to him because you are all free now. So
hey, call a spade a spade. I like it, Chris.
I'm not gonna
get him out of here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with that. The results have shown if you're not getting consistent top 8, you're getting smoked. And that's what the results have shown so far. Like when I run into people and I don't like, if you're not currently, that's what it's been like recently. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, a little bit, but I'm just saying more. And I'm trying to play with the Colorado because when I play, I tend to play late. I usually wait till the wife's asleep and then jump on because again, you only get so much time with her after get off work, get a few hours, and then she got to go to bed because she gets up before me, and it's like, so want to spend that time with her when you can. And then I jump on, and I'm trying to play Colorado people a bit more recently because also beating Colorado people is not my end goal. Of course I want to do well, I want to win tournaments and everything, but my ultimate end goal is not to just be good in Colorado. So I'm trying to make sure I play people more. Not trying to hold that shit for monthlies or anything like that. So I'll be actually asking for asking for sets more often in there. But it is also like, if I'm not running into the guys who are getting top 8 at Aki, since it's scary hours for them, and all I got a little bit of a Terry now, but all I got is Kimberly. So you're gonna get my best effort, and so far the results have shown that I'm gonna do well in that. And so when it comes to that, like, I'm trying to play these people who are high level. I'm trying to bridge that gap between winning the occasional set versus a top player in ranked versus being consistent. So far, like, ranked is gonna be, I feel like, has been and is gonna be where you get the most high level play. And yes, there's a ton of one and done and bats and bat connections, and people will get the pop up that says, do you want to quit? And they won't quit, and I will be like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna donate this MR because I'm not gonna sit here when you got a 7-frame delay and you don't want to press start. I'm just gonna go ahead and donate this 11 MR, and I'm gonna block you.
This is me getting my best Texan on since I live down here. I'm gonna wrangle you in to wrap this up. So because we're well over an hour, but I did want to talk about the rank thing just because it was something fun that we were talking about before we started recording this. So, like usual, it's always a pleasure to have John on here. One of the best players in Colorado. One of the best. Honestly, these are the two best players I know personally. So whenever I get both of you guys in here, it's always a blast. It's always fun. Getting to be kind of in between two great players and kind of bouncing ideas and hearing what you guys have to think compared to maybe what I would think on my end kind of thing. So it's always fun. I have a strange feeling that we may see John for a third time. Just because we were kind of talking about some tier list kind of stuff on the side, so I think we have some fun
internet
stuff
loves
coming
some
up.
tier list, baby.
Some tier lists. So yeah, so I think that'll be really fun. We'll address that when it comes around, but I do have that on the itinerary. So like usual, huge thanks to John. Of course, I want to pass it over to Chris so he can send us off for the night.
As you always know, it's Thursday. It's community night. We are in Hub 23. And when I say we, I mean people. Because let's be honest again, by the time I get in there, it'd be 10:30, 11. There'd be like 4 or 5 people. I go look for a little bit, see what's up, and then I go jump on some ranked until I go to bed or something like that. Because by the time I get in there, people's is gone. But otherwise, come join us. Come join them. Maybe me. Who knows? Like I said, maybe I'll jump in there.
Hey, there's some late bloomers.
So we get in there. But come join us, as always. Hey, you know what? Holiday season's coming up. Go get your girl some merch. Go get those special people in your life some merch. Go get some Moon Marauders, the well-designed shirts by... well, I got one, but all by... Here we go. By yours truly over here. Go get you some merch. And we got some things coming up, but... As always, what about peace? Peace.
Peace.
All right.